Hey, what's up, guys? It's Andrew Santowski. I'm back with another UFC prediction video. This time, UFC 326, Holloway versus Oliveira 2. This event goes down March 7th, 2026. Going down from the T-Mobile Arena in Las Vegas, Nevada. So let's get into it, guys. I'm sure they're not done building out this card, but there's 10 fights on here. You know, I can't envision it being more than 12 or 14, but let's get into it. First fight up, Gaston Bolanos against Ju Sung Yu. Men's featherweight fight. Bolanos, one fight losing streak, 33 years old. Coming off a loss to Quang Lee. Went over Curtavious Romeus prior to that, and I don't think he's with the UFC no more. I'm not sure if Quang Lee is either. Ju Sung Yu, he's on a one fight losing streak, 31 years old. Lost to Daniel Santos. Knocked out Jekka Saragi in his UFC debut. I'm gonna side with you here. Luke Fernandez against Rodolfo Bellato, men's light heavyweight fight. Bellato, one fight losing streak, 29 years old, coming off a loss to Navajo Sterling. No shame in that. Sterling looks like an up and coming prospect. That was on that Australia card this past September. Luke Fernandez, 6-0 in his professional career, so doesn't have a whole lot of experience. 30 years old, 6'1", and he's got a lot of first round finishes, you know, and he was on the Contender Series. I'm gonna side with him here. But again, it will not surprise me if Bellato pulls off this win. He's got the UFC experience, and he is a decent fighter himself. Again, we're going to pull up his resume here. You know, lost to Sterling, no contest to Paul Craig. That was a weird fight. Draw with Jimmy Crute. So, again, but he's got wins over Ihor Patera, and he was on the Contender Series as well a few years ago. So, again, it won't surprise me. He's got the UFC experience. He's got more fights under his belt, but I'm going to sign with Fernandez. Dusko Todorovic against Dante Johnson. Dante Johnson, from the Contender Series, he fought at heavyweight, 26 years old. 7-0 professional record. Again, coming off a win over Cedric Dumas. Again, he hasn't been out of the first round a lot. But yeah, he was on the Contender Series. Dusko Todorovic, he's probably got the more he's got the more UFC experience for sure. One fight winning streak. They always put this guy up against prospects. He's coming off a win over Jose Medina. I don't rate that high. He's got losses to Zach Reese, Mansour Abdul Malik, Christian Leroy Duncan. Again, he's fought some tough dudes. I'm gonna side with Dante Johnson, but again, it's not a fight I'm going to have any money on. Sumandarji against Jesus Aguilar. And I am siding with Aguilar here. This is a men's flyweight fight. Sumandarji, 2-fight winning streak. Wins over Kevin Borjas and Mitch Raposo. Jesus Aguilar, he just continues to find ways to win. He's on a 1-fight winning streak. He's coming off a win over Luis Garul. Lost to Esteban prior to that, but again, he put 3 straight wins prior to that. So again, he's a gamer, man. Again, this should be. Let's take a look at the reach in that. Again, Sumandarji's gonna have a 10-inch reach. So yeah, you know what? I think I will pick Sumandarji, man, just based off that reach. So yeah, I'm gonna pick Sumandarji in that fight. Rafael Tobias against Diyar Nurgazai. Nurgazai, 2-fight losing streak, 28 years old. He got finished in both fights, both by submission. Lost to Uran back in August and lost to Brinson Ribeiro back in March. Two losses you really don't want to have. Tobias, 6-fight winning streak, 22 years old. He was coming off the Contender Series. He got a submission finish. I'm gonna side with Tobias here. Cody Garbrandt against Long Zhao. Long Zhao, 1-fight losing streak, 27 years old. Lost to Si Young Yu, beat Quang Lee, lost to Chang Ho Lee. Again, they haven't really seen this guy fight. Cody Garbrandt, I mean, it's 2-fight losing streak, 34 years old. Lost to Ronnie Barcelos, and that was a 29-28 fight, I believe. Lost to Davison Figueiredo. Just doesn't seem like he's got the gas in the tank, man. These fights are there for him to win, but he's just not winning them. I'm going to side with Cody Garbrandt here, man. Cody Durden against Tumen Dembarel. And let's see who I got picked for this fight. I have Tumen Dembarel. This is a men's flyweight fight. Dembarel, 1-fight winning streak, 27 years old. He was on the road to the UFC. He did take a fight in the UFC back in 2024. Lost to Carlos Hernandez by split decision. Was on the road to UFC a couple times. Cody Durden, he's had an up and down UFC career. Currently on a 3-fight losing streak, but he does take fights on very short notice. Doesn't give himself a proper training camp. But lost to Alan Nascimento, lost to Jose Ochoa, lost to Joshua Van. So, I mean, this guy, he's lost 5 out of his last 6, man. Not good. He does have some skills. I'm going to side with Tumen Dembarel, though. Kyle Barajo against Rainer de Ritter. I just think Barajo, I mean, this is a 3-round fight as it stands now. I'm going to side with Barajo, man. I just think he's better everywhere. I don't know if it was the weight cut, the backup. He was the backup fighter for the last middleweight title fight between Duplessis and Chimaev. I don't know if it was him cutting weight, but he looked terrible against Imavov in that fight. Imavov, I mean, I think Imavov 50-45'd him. But Barajo, man, he's looked good every fight else. I mean, this guy's got a good ground game, good striking game. I just don't think de Ritter's going to be able to get off with his grappling or his striking. I just think Barajo is better everywhere. Barajo's going to hurt him. And like I said, we know de Ritter is a gasser. He should be able to go 3 rounds, but Barajo's going to be putting some damage on him. I'm going to side with Barajo here. But I imagine he'll be probably a 2-1 favorite, if not more. Renato Moicano against Brian Ortega. And Moicano, he just hasn't looked good in his last couple fights. Again, losses to Beneil Dariush and Islam Makhachev. But the Dariush fight, he kind of gassed. He did not look good. Dariush was getting takedowns on him easily, man. Ortega, he's moving up to lightweight finally, hopefully. Thought he was a great featherweight fighter. He just couldn't make the weight. He did go all 3 rounds with Sterling, lost to Lopez. But I'm going to side with Ortega here, man. I'm going to say that the lightweight move helps him out. And I'm going to say he picks up the win here. Main event, Max Holloway against Charles Oliveira. Let's look at the breakdown of it. 34 years old for Holloway, 36 years old for Charles Oliveira. Again, I remember when Oliveira made his UFC debut in 2010. At featherweight, I believe. No, featherweight wasn't around, so it had to have been lightweight. 5'10", 74-inch reach for Oliveira. Max Holloway, 5'11", 69-inch reach. So he's going to have a 5-inch reach disadvantage. Holloway should be the better striker here, man. Let's look at his resume. I mean, he just sent Dustin Poirier into retirement. Gave Poirier a good beatdown. Lost to Topuria before that. I mean, that's the only time we've ever seen Holloway get finished like that. I mean, that was nasty. Again, 3 losses to Volkanovski. I mean, he did get submitted by Poirier in his UFC debut. But that's the first time we've seen Holloway get knocked out like that. And that was against Topuria at featherweight. But again, really good boxer, really good volume. Great cardio. Charles Oliveira, I worry about his chin. Nice win over Gamrot. That was a pick'em fight too, and he absolutely dominated Gamrot, man. Gamrot took that on a few weeks' notice, but he was landing takedowns against serious ground control time, and he ends up getting a submission on Gamrot, who's very tough to submit. So, I mean, I was really impressed. I thought Gamrot should have stayed striking with him because it did look like Oliveira was a little uncomfortable standing. But again, Oliveira landed the takedowns easily. Oliveira, he gets finished by Topuria as well this past June. That was for the lightweight title. Beat Michael Chandler, just absolutely dominated him for 5 rounds. Lost to Sarukian. Beat Dariush. And again, like I said, I'm gonna side with Charles here, and it's all about the odds. You know, currently he's a plus 154. Come back on Holloway, minus 200. And I think these odds are gonna just go up for Holloway. I mean, I see Holloway closing minus 250, if not more. I mean, just performances last time out. People know Oliveira kind of has some chin issues. I mean, Holloway's noticeably tough to take down. I think Charles will get takedowns though, but he can't engage in a firefight with Max. Can't afford to get dropped. Again, Oliveira should have a great ground advantage here. Again, Holloway's tough to submit. Holloway probably does have some good ground and pound, but that's only going to come into play if Oliveira's hurt. But Charles, I mean, this guy's a submission artist, man. Great grappler, got good hands. He's going to have a reach advantage, but again, he should be looking to get this to the ground. Hopefully his cardio holds up, but I will pick Charles Oliveira. So again, guys, my picks: Charles Oliveira, Brian Ortega, Barajo, Tumen Debrel, Garbrandt, Tobias. I'm going to side with Sumandarji, Johnson, Dante Johnson, Luke Fernandez, and Ju Sung Yu.